Do you want your own god tier Loomian, just like this Vari I rallied with 7 times 40 UPs, but you only have absolute garbage Loomians like this Twilight I just caught? Well, you come to the right place. I'm going to tell you how to get your own perfect UP Loomians in this video, okay? But really quickly, I want to mention that this is an updated video. I've done one of these in the past. It still works. It's just a very slow process with how I explained it. And this one, we actually have access to the UMV now, which speeds this entire process up a whole lot. And we actually have access to all of the rally stuff, toys, feed, and the totems. Although I will say, okay, just for that note, if you want to get the new Jewelfruit, which is now accessible, you need to get level 78 mastery, and I know that's a very grindy process, so if you don't want to go for the Jewelfruit, it speeds it up a lot, but you don't really need it. Although what I would recommend is getting to at least level 39 mastery, which gives you access to all of the toys, you need access to the Tutifruit feed, and it gives you access to both of the totems as well. Okay then, just going to jump straight into it. I'm actually going to use the Twilight that I showed you in the intro, just showing you the entire process from start to finish on how to turn this garbage Loomian into a perfect UP Loomian. Although I will say, if you're going to follow this video's instructions, don't use something like an Ignial, please, okay? If you actually don't know, it actually corresponds from the wild to the rallying. The rarer something is in the wild, the longer it takes to rally it. So if you use an Ignial, it takes considerably longer to rally it, okay? So use something like a Twilight or a Cathon that's very common in the wild, which means that it's going to take a lot less time to rally it, which means that you can do this a lot quicker. And once you have your perfect UP Loomian, then you can use that, and then you can start rallying your Ignials, which makes the entire process a lot easier, okay, and a lot quicker. Okay then, just going to jump straight into step 1. We actually have to get some Loomians that have some 40 UPs already on some of their stats, okay? So there's actually 3 good ways to do this. Number 1 is by catching some roamers, the wild ones or the soft resettable ones. If you don't know, whenever you catch a roamer, it will always come with 3 perfect guaranteed 40 UPs in random stats. I'm not going to use this method in this video because they are pretty rare, and not everyone can afford them, and potentially hunt for them because they are pretty rare if you don't use boosts or game passes. So I'm not going to use that in this video, but if you already have some roamers, you can potentially use them. Second is the weather. I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but weather, if you catch a Loomian that is affected by the weather on that specific route, it also comes with 3 guaranteed perfect UPs, okay? So you can actually use that one, and that's the one that I would probably recommend if you can't do this last one. And the third option is the UMV. You can actually revive Loomians and the fossil Loomians, okay? And again, once you revive them, they will also come with 3 perfect 40 UPs on some random stats. That's the method that I'm going to use, but however, if you don't have a lot of batteries, I would probably go with the weather mechanic instead, just because also if you don't have a lot of batteries, it's probably going to take you a couple of days to actually get a handful of Loomians. So basically the goal is just I'm going to revive half a PC box of Kyogos and hopefully get lucky that I get 2 perfect Kyogos I can use. It might take you a little bit less, it might take you a little bit more than it does for me, but anyway, that being said, I'm going to revive these and I guess I'm back whenever we're done. Okay then, I've revived a good amount of Loomians, okay, so now I'm just going to go through them and basically just check clear UPs, okay. We're basically looking for 2 Loomians that have 340 UPs on different stats from each other. So for example, we're hoping for health, energy, and melee attack on one of them, and then the other one to be any 3 that aren't low specific stats, we want them to be different. And obviously we have 2 of them, and these are the 2 that I'm going to be using. And with that being said, we can now get into the rallying part. Okay then, so now we're actually ready to start rallying, okay? We've got our Kyogos that are absolutely perfect for what we want, okay? I only rallied 15 of them, so I got really lucky that I got some really good ones. So then, now we can actually start rallying, okay? I got my Twilight, the absolute garbage one, and the Kyogo. I'm going to use the speed and the range stat ones first, okay? It doesn't matter which order you do it in low. So first off, I'm going to show you the Tutifruit method, okay? If you want to use the Jewelfruit method, if you have the Jewelfruit, I'll leave a timestamp down in the description. It is a little bit quicker and it doesn't involve as much RNG at the beginning part. But anyway, for the Tutifruit, okay, if you don't know what it actually does, it'll pick 3 UPs from the Twilight and 3 UPs from the Kyogo. They're completely random. Our goal is to hopefully get the Kyogo's 3 40s passed on to a new Twilight. But basically, every time that we get a new Twilight that has a 140 or just any 40s on it, we're going to replace it with this Twilight, just so it makes it a little bit quicker. And our goal is to basically try and get a Twilight with 40 in speed, range defense, and range attack, the exact same ones that the assistant has. So I guess I'll be back whenever we get that. Okay, well, we're back, okay, we actually rallied Twilight. This one is a complete dud. It didn't get any of the 40s, but we have one of them that only has 1, which is fine because it is still worth it. Okay, like I said, this is a lot heavy RNG we're kind of relying on. But now we have this second Twilight, okay, we can go ahead and replace our first one with it. And now we're getting somewhere, okay. I'm basically just going to keep swapping out this Twilight every time that we get a new 40, just so we can also get that 3 times 40 in those 3 stats that the Kyogo has. So again, I'll be back when we get another one. Okay, I'm back again. The first one that actually rallied has 2 40s, so again, I'm going to replace this now with our second Twilight, so this is our third one. These 2, we only just passed on 1, which we're not going to really keep these, so we're just going to delete those. And again, just keep replacing the Twilight with the more forties, okay? That's basically just how you do this, and hopefully RNG keeps it going okay, and hopefully it gets good. So our next Twilight will be the one that has 3 forties now. Well, it'll probably take a few Twilights. I don't think I'll get lucky to get on the first one, but yeah, again, let's get back to rallying. Okay, then, so about 20 Twilights later, okay, we finally got the 3 times 40 one, okay? So we now can go ahead and replace our rally Twilight with this new one, okay? And as you can tell, we actually have a lot of duds that I want to get like 1 or 2 forces, which isn't exactly what we need, so we can delete all of these now. Go back to our PC, grab you. And now that we've got the, basically like we've copied the first Kyogo stats, okay? We can now go ahead and replace the Twilight with this new one, okay? And now we can actually go ahead and replace the Kyogos because we already like basically copied all of these forties. So now I'm going to use this Twilight, okay, with the 3 forties, with our second Kyogo with 3 different forties, okay? Again, using the Tutifruit, we're hoping basically at this point we can actually get lucky enough and just get a 6 times 40 UP Twilight by just copying the 3 forties from the Twilight and just getting lucky enough to like copy the 3 forties from the Kyogo. But here again, we're just going to do the same process over. Just keep replacing this Twilight with a nuller Twilight whenever we get it that has more forties. Okay, then we're back again about another 20 Twilights later, okay? So we've got a couple of duds in here again, which we're not really going to use, but we finally got this one, okay? I actually forgot to mention the clip before, but for this specific Twilight that you're rallying, or whatever Loomian you're rallying, okay, you want to make sure that you're passing down the same Twilight forties, okay? So in my case, it's going to be speed and the range stats. Although, on top of that, then you can actually replace it if you get any more forties on top of that. Because if you replace the Twilight that's in my rally leader right now, and it doesn't have one of these stats, then also it can never get that one again unless I put the old Kyogo back in that we've already done. There's no point in like going back and forth between them, right? So, yeah. But now we've got this one, which is perfect. That's actually a 5 UP one now. We can go ahead and replace our rally leader with this new one now. And again, at this point, we can just keep going. Let's actually check this one. Kind of trash. Not going to use it. So at this point now, we can actually just swap these out. And now we can just basically leave these in until we get our first 6 times Twilight, which will probably take a little bit longer. But our goal here now is to try and get 2 6 times 40 Twilights. But also our first one we're still going to replace with this one anyway, just to speed up the process a little bit. So yeah, anyway, I'll be back then, I guess, whenever we get our first 6 times 40 UP Twilights. Okay, and still rallying, but as you can tell by this Twilight, it has the exact same 40s as the Kyogo that I'm actually currently using. And if you don't know, if you use the same Loomian for the rallying in the assistant and the leader, it actually speeds up quite a lot compared to not having the same typing or not having the same Loomian. So I might as well swap it out. This will actually just speed up the process a little bit. And again, I can actually do the exact same that I did with this Twilight and just keep replacing this assistant one now with just more forties. I'm just going to make sure that it has, I think it's health I'm missing, right, on this one. Yeah, so I can keep replacing this Twilight, but I need to make sure it at least has health forties. But if it has more forties, I can just keep replacing it now. Okay, then, I got another Twilight with 40 in the health and 3 forties. So again, I'm going to replace the assistant now with this new one, so easy peasy. I don't know how many Twilights we've gone through, but we've gone through probably more than 100 now in total, like after rallying all of them. So yep, there's that one, and I'm going to keep rallying until we get hopefully like another 540 UP one, but it needs to include health. Okay then, we finally rallied another 5 times 40 Twilight. Again, it's got health and it's got 5 forties compared to our assistant's only 4, so again, I'm going to replace it since it has more in it then. And now that we've done that, both of these have 5 forties, which means it's going to be a lot quicker now, because one, they're both the same Loomian, so it's going to rally at a much quicker rate rather than having like a Kyogo, because they're not the same typing or the same Loomian. And that they both have 5 times 40s means that we should get a 6 times 40 like fairly soon. It's still going to take time and a lot of RNG, but we should get it a lot quicker than if we were using like any of these two instead. Okay, we finally did it. Like maybe 30 minutes later, we finally got a 6 times 40, which means we can go ahead and replace. Oh, actually, we got 2 back to back. Let's go. Okay, already done then. Now that we have our 2 6 times 40s, I can actually just go ahead and replace both of the leader and the assistant now. So just quickly do this. I can now just do this, and now because they're both 6 times 40. Now we just keep these both in here, and eventually we'll get our 7 times 40. Now this part is very like RNG heavy, because basically what we're trying to do is like, let's say for example, we want the Tutifruit to take the health and the melee stats from this Twilight, for example, and then we also want the Tutifruit to take this Twilight's range stats and its speed, which also then these are just with like energy, which is going to be randomly generated, and we're just basically like hoping that it hits a 40. That's basically it. Sometimes it will pick energy from either of these from the Tutifruit, which means it is going to just give us 30, and then we'll get like another random stat. So it's not going to be guaranteed 6 UPs or 7 UPs, but you are guaranteed to get 5 UPs minimum now whenever we rally these two together. So now it'll probably take like an hour if we're like really unlucky, or if we're really unlucky, it might take us like a couple hours, but we can just leave these in here now, just keep checking them back every now and then, and eventually we will get our 7 times falters. And there we are. Actually, only like half an hour later, okay, we finally got our first 7 times falter back to back. Okay, no, but there we are, 7 times falter, nice. That's the Tutifruit method. I'm going to get into the method you can use with the Jewelfruit just to speed this up a little bit, but again, it does involve quite a lot of RNG after the first part anyway. Okay, then now we're going to do the exact same thing, but with the Jewelfruit, okay? So if you actually have the Jewelfruit, this it's still like the same thing. You're going to use the Jewelfruit for like a little bit of it, like basically the first part of it, and then you're going to want to swap to the Tutifruit towards the end of it, okay? So first off, I'm going to put in the same Twilight that I started with in the Tutifruit, okay? The absolute garbage one. I'm going to lead it with the same Kyogo that I had. I'm still using the same 2 Kyogos, okay? But also with this one, we're actually going to go ahead and change our feed to the Jewelfruit. Basically, this means that I just have to rally 1 new Twilight, and the 1 new Twilight that I rally will have the same 3 UPs, or 340 UPs, that the Kyogo has, because for the Jewelfruit, if you read it, it says it'll pass the perfect UPs, not random ones, perfect ones, which is really good. Whereas in the clip of me using it, only using like the Tutifruit, it took me quite a few Twilights. Like I would get like, oh, there's 140, then I'd like rally another one like with 240s. Like it took a while to get the just like get it going. But with this one, all we have to do is rally 1 Twilight, and then we can replace the Twilight already. Okay then, we just rallied 1 Loomian, okay? This is the first one I've rallied, just did a quick jump, just like I could actually wait for it to rally, and would you look at that? It already has 3 forces, nice, so we can actually go ahead now and replace it. This is the 7 times 40 one that I got from the Tutifruit, in case people are wondering just why is a random Twilight though, okay? I'm not cheating, okay? I'm showing the entire thing from start to finish. I'm going to replace this one, and we can go ahead and just replace the Kyogo. Now what it's actually going to do, since we're using Jewelfruit, is this part is also really easy. It will pick randomly 5 perfect UPs, so basically here we're hoping that we can get these 3 Twilight's UPs, and then also 2 of this Kyogo's ones, okay? And then we can replace the Twilight, and basically then we just go back to the Tutifruit. Okay, then a little bit later, I don't know how many Twilights we've gone through, but as you can tell, we have the 3 UPs in the range stats and the speed that we wanted, and we actually got lucky enough to get 2 of the Dorogos, or Kyogo's forces, okay? So I'm actually going to take this one. This one, no, don't really need that one. Okay, so now that I have this new Twilight ahead, we can just go straight ahead and replace our leader with it now, okay, which is going to be really nice. Yes, I would. Let's have a quick look. That one's not too bad, but again, I mean, if I didn't get the one that I'm actually going to replace it with, that would also be good, because it also has more. And there we are. So we've got this one now, and now our goal is to basically try and get like another one, but instead of having these 3 stats, we want it to have the Kyogo's 3 stats, okay? So we want to try and get one with health, both of the melee stats, and then hope for like 2 of any other stats, okay? And then we can actually replace this Kyogo with that Twilight, and then we can just change it to the Tutifruit and then try and go for the 7 times 1. Okay then, we finally did it! We got one with the same as Kyogo's, okay? I didn't exactly need all of these, I just mostly needed the melee attack and the melee defense. If I was like missing health, it would have been fine if I had the other forces, more than 3 at least. So yep, there we are, we can go ahead now and change out the Kyogo for this one. So really quickly, I'm just do that. And now we can actually go ahead and change this to the Tutifruit now, and basically at this point, we're basically doing the exact same thing as the Tutifruit method, is that now we're just trying to get our 6 times 40 UP Twilights and replacing both of the leader and the assistants. Once we've done that, then we can just go for our 7 times 40. Okay then, back again. As you can tell, we got our first 6 times 40. Didn't take that long, to like maybe 10 minutes, honestly. Not back to back closely, but yeah, all on that. I'll quickly take that, and I'll just replace the leader with it, and then we basically want to try and get another 6 times 40, and then I'll replace the assistant, and then just gotta get lucky, I guess, and then get the 7 times. Let's have a quick look. Another 6? Nope, delete. Don't want any of you, okay. And there we are. Now we've got the 6 times 40 rallying with a 5 times 40, so now we'll just wait and try and get another 6 times 1. Okay, just 2 rallies later. I haven't deleted any Twilights, okay, but we've got another 6 times 40, so now same thing again, okay. Just going to replace the assistant with this Twilight now. And that's it, but we both have now a leader and an assistant with 6x forces again, which means now we just leave these in here, and eventually we'll get our 7x 40. It'll take a while, but we'll eventually get it now. Okay, it's been about an hour now, and as you can tell, we finally got our 7x 40 by doing the Jewelfruit method, okay? And now that being said, that is actually both of them, so it took me about, like, what? I'd say, like, 3 hours to get both of them, okay? The 7x 40 from the Jewelfruit and the 7x 40 from the just the Tutifruit method, okay, and then also the starting one. And that's basically it. So also for you, if you like know what you're doing, it should take like maybe like 2 hours at most if you get like lucky enough. If you get really unlucky, it could take you a few hours, but I think it should be fine once you get going. Okay, so once you've got your 7x40 UP Loomian, okay, you're actually ready now to start some PvP prep. So I'm going to use a Gamma Scarb as an example. Let's say I've never used a Scarb for PvP, a Garage Run, okay, I'm going to need to start somewhere, okay. First off, go for the personality. So on a Scarb, on a Garage Run, I would usually want to run Nimble, Smart, Very Frail. So first off, we're going to get that. Also, this personality is our suck, but hey, lucky enough, I have a Nimble on my Twilight. So I'm going to go to the toy, I'm going to go to the puzzle cube. If the Scarb already had Nimble or Smart, I would pick the bouncy ball. And then I go to the totem, pick the smiling totem because I want Nimble, Smart, Very Frail. So in this case, if I do this, it's going to always pick the Twilight's Nimble, and then I'm going to have to like try and get lucky to get Smart, Very Frail. So I'll have to like rally like maybe like 20 Scarbs, try and get lucky with that one, okay? But once I've got the personality that it wants, I'll go to the toys again and I'll use the yo-yo, which will lock it in as long as it's in the rally leader. So nice, we've got our personality. If you want Very Nimble, just go to the totem, go to Scowling Totem. That'll still like lock in the Nimble since our Twilight's personality is only Nimble. So then we just have to like try and roll the down ones. I guess on a Garage Run you could go Frail and I guess like Tender or Foolish. I don't know which one because I never use a Very Nimble Garage Run, but just an example. And once you've actually got your personality that you actually want, lock in with the yo-yo, put it in the leader slot, and now you're ready to go for some UPs, okay? So first off, if you have the Jewelfruit, just use the Jewelfruit, you'll rally a new Scarb, okay, that has the right personality, and it will have guaranteed 5 or 3 to 5 UPs. Just try and get one that has 5 UPs, okay? Replace it with your leader again, and then go back to the Tutifruit, and basically just keep rallying until you get a 6x 40 UP Scarb, and then just keep rallying then until you get like one that you want for PvP, if you want a secret ability, okay? That's all it really takes. Because in certain situations, like for Scarb, you only need 6 UPs, you don't need all 7 of them to be good, because it's not a melee attacker, you don't need the melee one. But on some Loomians, for mixed attackers, you want to try and get lucky and get all 7 of them maxed, okay? If you don't have the Jewelfruit low and you only have the Tutifruits, basically you just want to do this combo, okay, where you have your bad Loomian that you're starting to rally, but you have the right personality now. And basically, you just want to keep getting lucky and always keep replacing your rally leader with a new Scarb that has more UPs or whatever Loomian that you're using in your case. And that's basically it, okay? Just keep doing this now, and once you have your 7x 40 UP Loomian, never delete it. You can use it for every PvP prep, okay? Which is why I usually go for something like a Twilight. So yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.